Good morning, Guyana. Good morning. How you doing? Um, uh, Been an exciting couple of days. And some hot Joe. You know, let me get directly to it. Budget presentations are, how do I put it? They're not too complex of a thing. You know, I think most persons would expect some amount of how do I put it, to be informative. Most persons expect it to be informative. That's the right word. And in the most part, the information, because of time constraints, a lot of information is not out. You see, Dr. Singh, and kudos to Dr. Singh, Ashley Singh, Minister of Finance. He was able to get out most of the information, and he told you that he could have, there's a lot of stuff that is not in there because of, then he was making his presentation talking about, because of the time it would take if you were to actually give each sector justice. So you have to, especially for persons who are speaking for 30 minutes, who's speaking for 30 minutes, that you have to first know your sector. And then you have a sector that is so expansive that not much you could say within 30 minutes to cover your sector. You probably need like 2 or 3 hours to do your sector justice. And again, you may have to err on the side of brevity. And you know, in law, they say brevity is contemptuous. So in my case, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to say that I didn't get to say, because I actually did a rough run of what I was going to present. When I stopped, the clock was 16 minutes. I'd already gone over, and I didn't even get to the real substance or meat of my presentation. So I'm gonna say no in some detail. Well, I won't say detail because this is a live. I'll say in some bit, 5 minutes or so, the key parts of budget 2026 for me. The first thing that I want to tell people is poverty and poverty reduction measures. Government has already had strategies for that. You got a national development strategy, you got a poverty reduction strategy papers, you got a low carbon development strategy, and you got a low carbon development strategy 2020-30. So there are like 4 documents in which government would have looked to develop a strategy to reduce poverty in Guyana. No, you can't just reduce poverty by giving people money. All right, it's like you walking down the road seeing a beggar and just giving him $10 million. Or you walking the road, see a child and you give them $20 million. It doesn't work that way. Or Cordell, don't call your brother down. So that is not reducing poverty. You have to implement certain measures that tackle poverty. And one of the ways you tackle poverty is focusing on, for example, health and education and other social services. Because if you were to go to a doctor, you'd have to spend money. If you were to go to a private school or be paid, or you have to pay your tutors, you have to spend money. Government has made those services, first of all, free. All right, let's say this here again. Government has made those services, first of all, free. And then government would have moved a step further as to improving those services tremendously. So by heavily investing in education and health, in internet access, also in infrastructure, but I want to focus more on the health and education for now. Government is actually using strategies to reduce poverty. Because you're walking down the road in Mabaruma or Lillian-Dal or Bagotville or Melanie or Good Hope, and you have an incident, or let him, and you have a medical incident, you want to have the same services available in Mabaruma, available in Letem. You want the same services you have available in Mabaruma, available in Melanie. You want the same service available in Mabaruma, available in Lillian-Dal and Good Hope, vice versa. So there's something tremendous about having equal access to these services that government provide. And again, high quality service. So billions of dollars being pumped into education and health reduces poverty tremendously. And again, these things are not, the opposition speaks as though these services, these things that government is spending billions of dollars on is for buttons and cows and sheep. No, these things are for people. That's why I said $1,558 billion is being spent on people. It's only people that benefit from these goods and services, from the delivery of these services. So in my case, where my mom could not afford to pay for UG, for me to study law at UG, my mom and dad could not afford to pay for me to go to law school. Government had to step in. And the government stepped in 20-something years ago. I'm about 23, 24 years into practice. And 24 years ago, government stepped in and provided me with free education. That I could have gone to UG. The fee, I think, then was $300,000 per year. My parents couldn't afford that. And then went to law school. You had to pay like your tuition and your housing and everything came out of like $2 million or thereabouts. I can't remember. But my parents could not afford it. And that's a story for a lot of kids in the interior, on the coastline, in the inner city. You couldn't afford to do certain things. You couldn't afford to do certain things. And again, I said, education is not a privilege. Education is a tool to take you out of poverty. And since 24 years ago, I had that experience of government equipping me and giving me that tool that today is responsible for everything that I have. You know, I would not have been where I am today. I would not have been in the National Assembly. I would not have owned multiple businesses. I would not be able to purchase multiple properties had it not been for government giving me that tool. So that's the first thing. Access and equal access to education and health. And in health, it's been tremendous. You know, in health it's been tremendous. You take, for example, I hear people talk about the Enmore Regional Hospital. The Enmore Regional Hospital handles so many serious cases. You know, serious accidents, injuries, whatever the case. You have to be rushing down to Georgetown. I don't know if you might have passed away during that trip. But now they deliver those services right here on the East Coast. So government has put in the infrastructure. Government has trained more nurses than at any time, and more professionals, healthcare providers than at any time in our history. All these things ensure that you and I have equal access, whether and the regional hospitals are not just in Region 4. You got them all across Guyana, Region 2 and Region 6 and Region 9, in Region 7, Region 1. You will have all of those hospitals coming on stream. So government has made the infrastructure, the investment in the healthcare delivery, in primary healthcare, in preventative medicine, and preventative measures. The government has done all of that. And if you were to add up, and that's the other word I wanted to use a lot in my presentation, the cumulative effect of these measures. You got free eye care, free dental, free testing and scanning. Everything is free. If you were to put a value, for example, every time you walk into a hospital, Georgian Hospital, or you walk into Diamond Hospital, and you have to pay for every single thing, for consultation, salary consultation. You got to pay to see the doctor. All right? Then you think about how much money you'll be spent on a simple visit to the hospital. Think about it. So by making these services free, government is saving you money. You get the point? If you were to go to the US, for example, or the UK, and you were to access education or access health care services, you would have to pay so much money. You'd have to be a millionaire. You would have to be a millionaire. So when government says, look, I'm giving you hospitals, I'm giving you schools, I'm giving you more teachers, I'm giving you more nurses, they are actually footing the bill. They are footing the bill. And that is how you understand the effect, the impact of Budget 2026. Now, the other thing I want to mention is the cumulative effect of the measures government has put in place. I mean, you heard about the pensions, you heard about the raising the income tax threshold, you heard about the allowances for the pensioners, you heard about the benefits for the disabled and the differently abled, persons with disabilities. I used the three terms that refer to one segment or sector for a vulnerable group. You saw the measures for women and children and youth. Because we care cash grant is now about $85,000. You hear about all of those measures. Now, cumulatively, remember that word, putting them together, putting all those measures together, you see the reach and impact of a poverty reduction strategy by government. And it's in the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. Hundreds of billions of dollars right back into the pocket of our men and women. You think about the service, the public sector. Now, you imagine persons are saying, I heard persons on the other side saying, government has done nothing for the public sector. And it's right there in the budget. The government says, look, when we got in here, the public sector wage bill was $127 billion. Now it's about $252 billion. So every year consecutively, government has raised the wages and salaries of our men and women in the public service. Discipline services, every year government pays to them their year-end bonuses, which amounts to billions of dollars. So cumulatively, all these things go to reducing poverty. All these things go to giving our men and women in this country a better life. Every single measure, cumulatively. So it's not saying, oh, the pensioners got $3,000. Not one pensioner government is paying in the entire country. There were 10,000 or so pensioners. All right? It's thousands of pensioners that government is giving these monies to. And the other thing for young people, this is one of the best times for young people ever. You know, I wanted to talk a lot about the orange economy, but time ran out. Time ran out. You know, it's so much I wanted to say. The time ran out. Now, the orange economy is something that is so remarkable. It is a direct investment in the talents of our young people. Direct investment in the talents of our young people. In the areas of gastronomy, that is dealing with food, in areas of craft, in heritage tours, in the literary and visual arts, dance and music. Government is investing about $3.7 billion into young people, directly into the hands of our talented young people. You got to avail yourself of these young people. You got to position yourself, young people. The opposition will say, and they've been saying like as if these things mean nothing. Odessa Primus gets up and says, oh, government ain't doing nothing for us. This is going to mean nothing for sports. And that is the most comical thing that she could have said. Is that this is what happened. I know some of your talent has to make room for you. And government has to create an enabling environment for talent and for business. And you're going to see a budget of $3.7 billion for young people, for the talented, for the gifted. And this is the first time in our history that you see sports associations didn't have to go to the private sector for sponsorship. Government covered all their tours, covered all their uniforms, covered everything for them. So don't tell people that government is doing nothing for young people. When in the budget, government is saying, look, for the musicians and the artists and everyone else, government is going to invest $3.7 billion. Government has already spent millions of dollars on studios, access to studios. And you know, government pays for studio time for artists. Yes, government has given grants to artists to improve and build their own studios. Now, I want to say this very clearly. People don't like investing in themselves. And I will say this. If you have a talent, you got to invest in your talent. People don't want to invest time into their talent. We got to call a spade a spade. You want government to toss at every single person $2, $3, $4 million. Look, this is your whole album. This I'm gonna do. This is your album. This thing, the world doesn't work that way. This is your album. This is your book of poetry. I had to go invest in my time. I've done 3 books of poetry. Unpublished works, of course. I was shortlisted for the Guyana Prize for Literature. I had to invest in myself. I'm going to a publisher, working with publishers right now. I actually paid one publisher. He did nothing. So I'm now actually working with some other publishers now to invest in my craft. So you've got to invest in your craft. Government is going this far. But you have got to invest in yourself. You've got to push yourself. I don't know since when we come as a people that somebody has to do everything for us. No. And I want to make it very clear. I don't expect government to do everything for me. Government is supposed to do the basic. The basic. And I have to go and push for the extra mile. Once you are an able-bodied person, once government provides the basic, you got to push for the extra mile. Let government do everything for those who are disabled and who can't help themselves. A lot of us can help ourselves. We refuse to help ourselves. We refuse. So government is doing everything to make it easier. We have now got to go the extra mile and push ourselves to accomplish what we want to accomplish. And the orange economy is a beautiful thing. It is done well in other countries like Colombia. And we're studying those models to see how the orange economy in those countries are able to impact and improve the lives of the artisans, talented people. So, Budget 2026 is for everyone. And you know, I spoke a bit about the Shade House program. I spoke a bit about the tunnel houses. Sisters and brothers, Guyanese. This is the first time that I am hearing a government say they want to make you wealthy. You've never heard those words before. You've never ever heard those words coming from a government before. We want to make Guyanese wealthy. But how do we do it? How do we do it? And it says, look, we are going to provide you with the means and the how. We are going to give you the access. For example, the Guyana Development Bank. You have an idea. You have a business plan. You could get $3 million collateral-free, interest-free. And government is going to be walking you through your plans before and after you get the loan to ensure that you succeed. And here what? If you have a good plan, the government is going to underwrite and make sure you get a $7 million extra loan from a partnering bank. At, of course, lower interest rates. So government is not only providing the bank whereby you could access the first $3 million. They're going to put you onto the other bank that can give you the extra $7 million to take your business to the next level. I could tell you today, a day like today, I have 3 businesses. Very successful. I ain't gonna be a James Bond bar anymore. I want to talk about James Bond bar for 2 seconds. I talk about it, but I didn't talk about it enough. I'm grateful for everyone who supported James Bond bar, cigars and cognac. But I realized when I saw some posts, especially from people on social media, who they did nothing for cigars and cognac. Nothing. Cigars and cognac do more for them than they do for cigars and cognac. You know, I see Nigel Worrell and there's a primers talking about stopping police and all this kind of thing. Let me tell you something. First and foremost, people in Guyana, not a lot of people, but there's some people in Guyana who like to see you punish. You know, like they get extra, they get a, they call it, I think we have we got a, there's a word I used yesterday, negative bias. We like to focus a lot on the negative stuff. All right? And it makes me realize, like I see Ganesh and them guys showing the photo when I was shot at Dexter Todd saying, oh, people, police would beat me down into subjection. They like to see you punish. And if James Bond was getting locked up by the police, if James Bond was getting closed down, if James Bond was suffering and punishing and crying and saying, hey, I'm punishing, this bad, I'd get no fans and friends. I would get no fans and friends. That's why you don't see me now, you know. That's why I don't debate, you know. I be home 99.9% of the times. Because I realized that a lot of people in Guyana, they're indifferent to success. They're indifferent to success. And when you become successful, you become a target. With some people, the bitterness and the vitriol and it's something that you have to experience. That's why I be home. You know, I be home and my closest friends, they come to, we lime here. There's a reason for it. That's why you don't see me out. Except I'm campaigning and I'm walking or somebody said the money is home, walk home, walk home. Walk home, walk home. You don't see me liming. You're going to see me once on fire. You might, oh, James, I'm going to take a little sip with my friends or somebody. So there's a reason for it. Reason for it. So, with James Bombard, that was a phase. That was a phase. You have to think big. I realized that, look, yes, we started as that. We started as James Bombard. We did what we had to do. Revive business we revive businesses in Maryland. We show people that, look, you could run a business, run it successfully. Just last year, I spent about $9 million renovating that bar. $9 million I spent to renovate it. Right now, I could open any time. But the reason I'm not opening is because I have other business interests. And I'm a man, if I'm behind something, I'm behind something. I have to be behind it. I can't do something and do it haphazard or half-assed. I have to do it with 100%. So if persons know, that bar wasn't active for a while. And I still went and spent money to make sure we bring it up to par. And keep it there. And if anytime we're ready, we could open up. Anytime. So that's just a phase that we went through. It was a learning experience. And I'm glad that I did it. But I want to tell people something. I don't, for a minute, regret the experiences I got at Cigar Bar. And look, Sonny come in there. Sonny come in and he said, they're talking about cigars and cognac. It's straight, he would walk in. He would walk in when I'm talking about it. Because he's my partner. People know this is my business partner. You know. And we do everything. We do everything. All our business is me and him. Fantastic young man. Fantastic. Among the projects he handled successfully from start to finish. You know, and we get into business in construction and agriculture and everything. We just got into these things. You know, and already in a good place. Good. So the thing about it is, after COVID was over, and you gotta understand, I'm not stupid. I tell people I'm not the best and the brightest, but I ain't stupid. No, you think I want to be running and licking down with police and getting issues with police and my bar for the rest of my life? No. So you know what I did? I went and see the Commissioner of Police, Clifton Hicken. Paid him a visit. You know, as people, I said as my godfather. I says, look, godfather, yo, we had, me and the police, curfew, COVID, whatever the case is. This was the situation. Yo, we gotta live together. You know, we gotta work together. We have to work together. I ain't gonna be at odds with the Guyana Police Force for the rest of my life. I'm sorry, Dexter Todd, and sorry, Odessa Primus. I ain't getting involved in getting a police story for the rest of my life. And this is not when I was PVP, this is when I was PA, that's what 2021. 2021 I'm talking about. 2021. I tell the police very clearly, me and y'all, we working together. I supporting y'all. Whatever work y'all doing, we working together. And that's how the police and I, we now have an excellent relationship. An excellent relationship. I have zero issues with the police. Zero issues. And that's why you gotta be smart. Them ain't getting in trouble with the police, you know. They don't want me get in trouble with the police. Especially the mice, the people. They want me lick down and kick down and abuse down. No. I'm 47 years ago. 47 years of age. I celebrate my birthday on Tuesday. I celebrate my 47th birthday. Alright, the things I used to do, I do them no more. It's time for next level stuff. It's time for next level stuff. And a lot of these folks, I'm going to tell you, they're cowards. They're going to do all the talking on social media. They do all it, but in real life, them is cowards. I know that for a fact. In real life, them is cowards. They can't confront adversity. And I've been confronting adversity since a child. I confront adversity. Most persons know I got a mark here, I could have died. I could have died. I got a mark in my head. So I've been confronting adversity since a child. Alright? So, since 2001, me the police make peace and beg pardon. Done with that. And I start to focus on other forms of business. You know, people don't know. I could talk it now. In 2021, 2022, 2023, I ain't even PNC all the time. I start my aggregates business. Start with aggregate business, and I'm working with government, private sector. Private sector. Doing some consultancy on the side. That's what I was doing. So when people see James Bond still kicking and James Bond still firing and things going for him, I doing my thing on the side. I working on the side, doing my stuff on the side, doing new projects on the side. Pushing, never settling, never resting. You know, so that person's talking about, oh, James Bond barging. I tell people from the beginning, I never live off of banks and Guinness and banks beer. I never live off of that. Never lived off of that. I don't mind me family on Guinness and banks beer. Alright? Now, the second thing I want to mention to young people is this, and I said it not in a little bit of passing. You gotta be business oriented. Yes, education is a tool, but the other tool to take you to poverty is entrepreneurship. It's tough to be an entrepreneur. Tough to have your own business. Tough. You know, many tried it and failed. And many tried and failed. But when you fail, you don't stop. You get up back. For example, we invested in a barbershop. Persons know this. You know, we invested in a barbershop in the road front. We had to close it down and move to the market. You know, we invested in a caravan. We had to close that down. A lot of stuff we tried. You know, a lot of stuff we tried. Not all worked out. You know, but at the end of the day, we never stop. We never quit. We keep pushing, we keep pushing, we keep pushing. And I want to say this, I thank the government yesterday, I thank the president. And I'll say it again. The PPP civic government provided the opportunities for people like me. When I was with the PNC, for people like me to have access to opportunities. To have access to opportunities. Alright? So don't let this thing, these people tell you that, oh, you can't succeed. They got all these barriers. They got all these obstacles. No! Even when you go out the door, there's an obstacle and a barrier. You have got to push. You have got to push. You got to believe in yourself. You got to register your business. You got to get your NIS compliance. You got to get your GRA compliance. You have got to go and pre-qualify yourself. You have got to go talk to your other people. Don't take no for an answer. You have got to push. You hear no once, hear no twice, hear no 3 times. I post up the video of that girl who failed to become Miss America. She failed like 7 times until she succeeded. This world is not for sheep. This world is not for the weak and faint-hearted. You know, this is not for weak people. This world here is for people who believe in themselves and want to push. This is what this world is for. You're not going to make it if you're weak, if you're cowardly, if you don't believe in yourself. I say you've got to get your stuff together. You've got to get your act together. Yes, Amen. Yeah, Fernando. Respect. All right? So, government has done that. Now, the other thing that I want to say, the measures that I really wanted to mention, this I'm going to mention now. For those persons in communities, and you know they got all these housing schemes going up, all along East Coast, all along East Bank, and wherever. You got your social work certificate, your degree, whatever the case is. Government is partnering with you, co-investing in you to provide care to persons with disabilities, to the elderly, and for children. I repeat, government is co-investing with you to provide care for persons with disabilities, to the elderly, and for children. These things are unheard of. So government is giving women who got these set skills an opportunity to become entrepreneurs. So you just got sitting up for your certificate. You're not just sitting up for your certificate. You can now create a space whereby you could provide care for kids, care for the elderly. And you got to look at the home visit aspects. You head over there, and in their own space, you take care of their kids. You take care of their relatives, whatever the case is. Become business women, and I think that's mostly women are involved in. So young women in general, if you have that set skill, you have that social work degree, that certificates, whatever the case is, government is prepared to invest with you, co-invest with you. And there's so many opportunities available for young women in agriculture, like I said, in the tunnel houses, in the shade houses. All you got to do is form yourself into groups. Government has already told GBTI that, look, we have a facility here where persons form themselves into a group, raise a certain amount of money, and then the bank lends you the money to enter into these enterprises. So you young people, this is not for special people. When I went in the program, I was surprised to see so many young people from Denham still, from Georgetown, from all over. Surprised. So this is not just for, they say, the friends, family, it's for everybody. It's for everybody. You know, that's what this government is doing. And kudos to His Excellency. And maybe we don't give him enough credit. We don't give the president enough credit, I think, for the work he has been doing in making all these measures and putting all these measures in place, and the entire team. You know, teamwork makes the dream work. And one thing I could say with the people of the Progressive Party Civic is that it's a complete teamwork. You know, it's teamwork. No egos involved. Teamwork. Everybody pulls together. Every single body pulls together. And that is why you can't beat the PPP. Jump high, jump low. Because a team that pulls together. Jump high, jump low. So, you're in these communities. In these communities, I want to say, look for these opportunities. That development bank that's coming is going to be a game changer. You think about it. You getting $3 million to start your own business. Now, I could tell you, I started cigars and cognac with $400,000. My coffee got cold. $400,000. That's what we started cigars and cognac with. $400,000. I took $400,000 out of my savings and I started cigars and cognac. I started it with I started it with one bottle of Hennessy. Talk to me. What can I do for you?
I got something for dinner.
Yesterday. We had to get from the cash yesterday. So that's what
I buy something for you.
Like some more stuff.
Yeah, the San Lucia dinner is like, gonna be like 612. No more than 20 grand.
20?
Yeah, no more than 20 grand. It's not gonna feed you, but I can tell you, Fernando. I can't Fernando for start. You see it today. Down here, the materials, everything there for start. We working out a plan, right? A 5 mark, which include I give them 6 days for done it. Right? We generally to like 282. And the material cost, we're gonna, right? Another 600,000 to come. You see the material, and workmanship and everything. So it's a good look. So whether to go, whether or not to go over, they get paid for the MPC.
Yeah, they understand that.
You understand that. You have done it in 6 days. Me with the past 6 days would be on it. So we settled for the 6 days. With he and the rest of them, and then it'll be 282. You see that. So whether you done it in 3, 4,
This is Moko?
No, this is Moko.
This is
This is Nabi.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, Moko you done the core part.
Okay,
so you
got you. Got you.
You don't come
Got you.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, thing has done start comparing.
So the total amount gonna be what?
Just under 600.
600?
Yeah. No. Wait a minute. I think overall, you're looking at just under 600 for 2 season.
Oh, I get you.
Material, but he will be 282.
Oh, that's
just.
just.
I'll give you an advance style.
No, wait, no problem. So,
Yeah.
so much cash you want now?
You could put 282. You could put 300. And just in case you got it any more thing, anywhere in between. I could ask for it. And then I'm gonna get some stuff there too. Put 300. And if I start making stuff and I get you money from people for the side to do my shit. So yeah. These 3 classes are going to be, these 3 workshops. The 60, 20, 30, 28. Today's billing.
Oh.
Setting up the documents and logistics. So I'm gonna start them one and then run the class. Alright, John.
Yeah, respect, bro.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Yes. Hey, big up yourself for when Peter King. I gonna soldier. Big up yourself, brother. Lieutenant was just here, boy. Yeah, so we were talking about our $3 million, and we're talking about how I started our business. You know, I started supplying aggregates with $0. No truck. This way. No truck. No nothing. Yeah, I'm telling you, $0. That's how you gotta like push yourself and put yourself in position. And I'm talking about, there's not government. I'm talking about private sector. Private sector. You know, I thank the president, I thank the Ministry of Housing for giving the opportunity to start building houses. Now I build houses for people, privately. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I could talk that. But of course I couldn't talk at them because you know so much of bad mind out there. You know, so much of bad mind. And of course I don't advertise it. I select persons come to me and I like in my law practice. After a while in my law practice, I never take every any matter. I select my clients. So I select very few people to build for. I don't like drama. I don't like drama. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. You know, I thank God again. Got into the field. Was very successful. I could have bought my own excavator, buy my own bobcat. Just the other day, some persons had to get a road to build. All right, James Bond, we giving you a knock. Bond Optimum. Build 3 roads. I ain't get no contract to build a road. But because of the opportunities that government provided for people, they're going to say, all right, Mr. Bond, we're going to use your services. You got equipment. And I just look for the people I know could do the work. I'm a lawyer. And that's the other thing too. Don't be afraid to network. Find the best people and the right people to do the job. You could get the job. You find the people to do the job. And I want to say my much thanks to my brother Peter Lewis. And I know Peter Lewis is listening and watching. Peter Lewis and ACS. Peter Lewis, thank you. Thank you. I see the opposition need to attack you. Peter Lewis is a person who's mentored me, who's assisted me, Yes, to do them roads, Peter Lewis. Assisted me, guided me. And then, you know, and that's why the president is big on mentorship as well. You know, and he's been mentoring me in business. James, don't do this, James, do that. You know, I was going to invest some money in something the other day. He said, James, don't do that. So, big shout out to Peter Lewis of Berbice, Rose Hall, and ACS Construction. Big shout out, big shout out, big shout out. You know, big shout out. Thank you, sir. Saying it publicly. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I said I've been around a lot of rich people, and I'm saying this here. When you're around rich people, you're not entitled to their wealth. You're not entitled to nobody's money. Some people come around and they feel that, oh, somebody get money for you and them. No, you're not entitled to anything from anybody. You gotta go work for what you want. You gotta work for what you want. I've been a lot around rich folks, and I'm glad that the few that I be around, never handouts. They're willing to mentor you and teach you and want to see you succeed. That's the important part. They want to impart their knowledge. They're going to give you 100 million, give you 20 million, and give you this and give you that. And if they do, bless God. If they do, bless God. But at least they're willing. Peter Lewis is one who's willing. You know, we went and visited him on his site to see what he was doing. And he was saying, James, anything, any work you get, any job you get, I backing you. And that's the kind of support, you know. A lot of people ain't doing that. A lot of people, I'm saying they got to do it. I ain't saying, again, you're not entitled to nobody telling you that. Alright? You're not entitled. You know, so, but it is absolutely remarkable that he would, you know, see someone who's new in business, who's new in construction, who's new in everything, and says, look, I'm willing to give you that support. I'm willing to see you succeed. And I'm telling you, it's rare. That's all I'm saying, it's rare. I don't expect it from people. You know, I don't go asking people, hey man, I got this business, man, I want. No, I've never done it. I've never done it. You know, because I think I got to figure my stuff out. As a man, I got my family to provide for. I, as the man, got to figure it out. Not for somebody to figure it for me. I got a different mentality, yeah? So again, big shout out to Peter Lewis for the support. You know, and 2026, we're going to do great things. This year is going to be a great year for the ordinary Guyanese, for public servants, for vulnerable groups. You know, it's going to be a great year. Fantastic year. We're getting there. Now, I must make the point that this thing is not an overnight thing, you know. I've been a lawyer for 20-something years. 20-something years. And I want to say a special good morning to the Chancellor, Roxanne George, the Chief Justice, Mr. Navindra Singh, DBP Sharma Halihak, Acting Chief Magistrate Faith Magusti, the members of the Judiciary. You know, we'll always have utmost respect and love for lawyers and judges and magistrates and everybody, the clerks and everybody. I'll always have mad respect for that sector, the judicial sector. Justice Cummings, always have government respect for that sector. And the law has given me everything. Like I say, God has blessed me tremendously. My mom asked me to be a lawyer. She did that. That was her idea. I wanted to be a historian. And the law has blessed me with everything. You know, blessed me with everything. The law has been kind to me. And business has been even better. You know, business is, I'm telling everybody, business ain't got nothing like being your own boss, working for yourself. Ain't got nothing like it. You know, ain't got nothing like it. Become an entrepreneur. Find something you're passionate about. For me, I didn't even know I was passionate about building. I didn't even know I was passionate about it. Because of course you look at cigars and cognac. Not to boast and brag. But that's everything is my idea. Every single thing. From the design to the layout to everything is my idea. You know. Wife just come in there and she would tell you, I just did over the kitchen. You know, just did over the kitchen. And she didn't have to say nothing. All the ideas, because that's just something in me. I didn't even know I had it. I have a creative eye and I need to see, you know, this is going to look good here, this is going to look there, this is how to build this is how to build that, you know. So, that's just me. I built a walk-in closet now for her. I design it. I said we gotta go here, we gotta go there. That's just me. You know, so yeah, Compton, let me show you the goal. Come on, let me show Compton. Compton, what the goal? Black and gold. This is Compton colors, by the way. I got Compton. Hey, yeah, Compton, black and gold. Facts, facts. Facts. My favorite, the color given to me at birth from my mom and dad was yellow. You know, or gold or whatever. That's the color my mom and dad gave to me. But I love black. You know, I love black. Black is beautiful, man. So, again, you gotta believe in yourself. And Compton is a brother who believes in himself, believes in his talent. In Compton now, you could get that $3 million grant, you could build your studio. You could take your paintings and your art from to another level, man. You know, you could take that to another level. Alright? Sky, you're not got no limit right now in Guyana. Just get an idea, believe in it, and don't look to just collect the money and go and buy a car and go and fool around the money. Take the money and invest it in your business. The car is gonna come, the house is gonna come, the vacation's gonna come, everything else is gonna come. You know, everything else is gonna come. I was able to pay down on my dream car the other day. On my dream car, a vehicle I wanted all my life. I was able to pay down on it. Everything is come in a time in. I ain't buy it yet. I was able to pay down on it, put a little tickle on it. You know? And that's how you gotta operate. You've got to invest in yourself. Invest in your business. Don't spend all the money. Don't eat all the money. Don't sport all the money. Don't sport out the money. Don't eat out the money. Don't drink out the money. Don't party out the money. Young people, don't drink out the money. Don't sport out the money. Don't party out the money. Spend the money on your business. Spend the money. I tell people, cigars and cognac made money, but every single cent, most of it, we spent 20, our accountant went through the books, we used to give away 22%, 22.3% of what we made, we gave it back. Because you know I love to give back. And then all the other monies went into infrastructure. Back into infrastructure. That's why cigars and cognac was never a run-down place. We always improving, always building, making sure the place is comfortable. And that's how you do business. That's how you do business. Don't spend all the money, don't eat all the money, don't drink all the money, don't sport all the money. And everything up knock, you gotta go. You know? Not every new frock come out, you gotta buy. Not every sneakers you see you want, you could, no. Invest in your business, in yourself. And in time, you're gonna be able, all them things are gonna become easy for you to get. I could wear any sneakers I want, any shoe I want I could wear. I could drive any car I want. I might even get it right away. But anything I could, the sky is no limit. There's no limit. Alright, so long and short of the matter, put yourself in place, put yourself in position. This country has shifted. Alright, where they talk about all them poverty. No. Poor people can't afford houses and cars and them kind of thing. You know, sourcing, my brother gave some figures to show how we moved in terms of housing and employment. Poor people don't buy houses. and apply for loans for build houses. Alright? Poor people don't do that. All them cars you see on the road. Alright? You see all the vehicles you see on the road? There's not poor people by it. Our series finish it quick. There's not poor people. There's ordinary Guyanese who've been given opportunity to make money, could afford these things right now. So all this doom and gloom picture that the opposition is painting as if we're punishing and lies. Lies. Look at the quoting. Sharma Solomon quoted, and here the opposition leader quoted, but no, he didn't read the report. The report says it is data based on 2016 to 2018. That means the report was around, it's 8 years after that the report came out. Based on data that was since 2016 and 2018. So during that no period, they were talking about 58% poor and 22% in abject poverty. Those things are in the very report that they are quoting. But let me read the report. You just see them figures and latch onto it. That's it. But I could tell you from 2020 to 2025, over 100,000 jobs were created by the PP7. Over 100,000 jobs were created by the PPP7. And more are being trained through BIT. Big shout out to Minister Keoma Griffith. And I must say his predecessor, Joseph Hamilton, laid that foundation. Because I work closely with Joseph Hamilton. Work closely with him in terms of getting young people trained through the Board of Industrial Training. Right here on the East Coast. Big shout out to Uncle Joe. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, honorable members. I didn't get Maria Asipan up. In June, I'm opening back in June. Alright, I'm opening back up in June. You know, opening back up in June. And we're going to be doing great things. And your boy James Bond is doing extremely well. You know, I had a bit of a health scare the other thing too. You know, one thing I wanted to say in my budget speech and I didn't get a chance to say. I had a health scare. And it's the Georgetown Hospital I went to. And the staff and the care at Georgetown Hospital was fantastic. Fantastic. Free. You hear what I'm telling you? Big up Georgetown Hospital. Big up my brother, Robbie Rambaran. Big up. Take a big up Georgetown Hospital. Take a big up. Take a big up Dr. Mahindra Karp. Take a big up Dr. Frank Anthony. Take a big up Dr. Vishwa Mahadia. Take a big up. So when you telling people about this country, you tell them Guyana nice. You tell them that Guyana is wonderful. We're on the up and up. We're moving up like the Jeffersons. And again, I want to say, they got some people in Guyana, they would love to see you suffer. That's all they want to see. They want to see you punishing and fighting and licking down. This is my warning to Ashley Muhammad. The minute you stop fighting and lick down and abuse the PPP, you're going to see the different treatment you're going to get. You get the sympathy right now. Sympathy. You know, a girl is a pity lashing. You get a pity right now. The minute, and I know, I told you already, the PPP is home for you. Yes, I said that. Go, PPP is home for you. The minute you, all this brouhaha and all this thing finish, and you start back living good, I know for sure the government, your PPP is going away. And you gotta go back good with them. The minute you start living back good with the PPP, you're gonna see all of them wrong you. Still eat you alive. They're gonna cost you, they're gonna abuse you, they're gonna, you name it. You only get the pity votes right now because you're going against the PP Civic. But this country changing. This country is evolving. And 242 votes are gonna grow. And sooner or later, you'll be back with the PP. You'll be back. But like I say, you gotta apologize to the president first. Cross the line with that one. Tell you that, you gotta apologize. You won't apologize yet. You gotta apologize to the big man. You gotta apologize. So the minute You're going to see all those little hanger-ons. You ain't gonna no win no more. So, in closing, I said somebody talk about, well, I got locked at the hospital. Again, I need to get things. I'm willing to hear from you on what your experience was at the hospital. I can talk about mine. And I'm going to mention another person name. Because I might say, oh, use a member of parliament, use this, why treatment nice for you. Monel Rogers. Monel Rogers. I'm going to give him a shout out. His mom had an incident. I'm not going to say what it was. She was at Diamond Regional Hospital. And I could say, Monel messaged me and says, James, everything was well. Great treatment. Everything was well. My late great friend, Sylvanus McKend, he was at the Dickensian Regional Hospital. The family could attest to it. The care was exceptional. So, I'm not saying everything is perfect. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't saying everything perfect. I ain't saying everything imperfect. Everything imperfect. We got to improve on a lot of stuff. But where we are now, as to where we were, we are leaps and bounds ahead. We are at a great place. We're at a great place. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh, it's the best. But we're much improved. So, Ms. Gittins, let me know what it is that you experienced and let me see how I could fix it and sort that out. Hormone Liverpool, big up yourself, big up yourself. Big up yourself. I want to thank all my friends, you know, who you remember the birthday and them guys, you know, make sure that they buy something for Uncle James, man, James, man. You know, it meant a lot. You know, meant a lot. Somebody said, oh yes, our honorable member Coretta had a bit of a spill. We wish her speedy recovery. Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well, she's recovering. So, that is that. Again, like I said before, my budget presentation could have been much longer. We could have put more information in there. But again, it's only so much you could say in 15 minutes. 15 plus 5 minutes. You know, so much you could say. So again, I want to thank, you know, my Heavenly Father, my Lord and Savior, Yeshua Messiah. You know, He is. I tell people, I don't even pray. You know, back in the days, we used to pray, God bless me, God send me, yes, I gotta get. No, I don't pray like that, man. I learned. I realize my Heavenly Father has knowledge of what I need. He has knowledge of what is best for me. And I just ask for grace and favor. That's all I ask for these days. Grace and favor. You know, God, your grace, your favor. Your grace, your favor. Everything is because of Him. You know, in Him I live, move, and have my being. You know, I don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I can't say or claim any glory. God has put things and people strategically in my life. You know, strategically, God placed certain people in my life. One being His Excellency, you know, and that's why I always have to mention him. One being His Excellency, because, you know, if he didn't be reaching out to me and giving me that push and giving me that encouragement, you know, I would take a different path. I would have. Honestly, I would not have gone into certain things I'm in had it not been for His Excellency, you know, putting certain systems in place and opportunities. And I know a lot of Guyanese could say the same thing. You know, that the government has certain programs and policies, and you could say, look, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. All right? And you go in and it is, you know. And person might think it's handout. No, I'm going to talk my business. Just like Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, I took a loan. I took a loan on my house. I mortgaged my house again for the second time or the third or the fourth time, whatever the case is. That's what I do. To start a business or do whatever, I either sell something or I take a loan. I had to sell a vehicle to start construction. Nobody come and say, James, look, you got to build these houses here. Look, $6 million, look, $8 million. No, I sold my vehicle and got the startup capital to start building. Because government doesn't give you money to build. You got to spend from your money, and when you finish a particular portion or part, then is when you get back money. So I had to believe in myself and put my house on the line. And that is how it is. It's not easy. That's why when Minister prays, I will not fail, baby. I could tell you, them words failure and quit don't come in my vocabulary. Because if I were to quit or if I were to fail, that's my family on the breadline. That's my family on the breadline. So I have to succeed. I have to succeed. All right? I took a mortgage to make sure I run my businesses and do whatever got to be done. Nobody can come and say, James, look at 2 million, look at 3 million. So all this foolishness, but people corrupt and people corrupt, is foolishness. People just throw their belly. People just throw their belly. And put up their house and put up their land to improve themselves. To send my sister to law school. My mom and dad had to mortgage their property. I was lucky to get a scholarship from the government. She wasn't so lucky. Although she's smarter than me. Pick up yourself, Joanna Alexis. She brighter than me, but she didn't get a scholarship. I got a scholarship. My parents had to go to the bank, mortgage the house, and send their child to law school and Eugene Law School. That's what people do. Nobody go and get a cut back and a kick back and a corrupt this and a corrupt that. People throw their belly. They believe in themselves. That's how this world has worked. Alright? So, y'all take care and tune in again to the budget presentations. Today is going to be good. It's the last day. You're going to have the AG today, Minister Gail Teixeira, the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, and Dr. Ashley closing, amongst others. Today's a good day to tune in. If you miss the entire session, the entire 4 days, today's a good day to tune in to the budget presentation. So, hi Atina, how are you doing? You know, so let's make things happen this year, man. It's a great year. All right? God bless you all, man.